Hello, welcome to a video that I said I was doing about a year ago, and then said that I wasn't doing, and am now doing. The Interplanetary Railroad. The main thing that has prevented total automation in ASTRONEER is the fact that you cannot transport resources between planets. The Interplanetary Railroad aims to fix that. What you are seeing now is just a proof of concept, proving that trains can indeed move between planets. I'm going to be splitting this video into two parts. First, a showcase of the Interplanetary Railroad that I've built on a save file of mine, and then a tutorial on how to build it. While I've got some runtime here, I would like to acknowledge again my channel reaching 100 subscribers. Thank you all so much for doing that, I really appreciate it, and this is the one time during this video that I am going to mention subscribing and the likes and all that stuff. If you like this video or subscribe off of this video, that is an indirect way of telling me that you like my ASTRONEER stuff, and I should be doing more of it. I do have at least one more ASTRONEER video idea in the works as of right now. What you just saw there was me sending that train back to Calidor. Now, I did just prove that trains can move between planets while I'm riding it. Now I'm going to prove that they can move between planets without me riding it. While we wait for that train to come back, let's go ahead and take a little tour of this save file. You can see here that each planetary connection has 4 exit signs that point to another planetary connection that rail line goes to. Those signs are double-sided. As you can see, they also serve as entry signs pointing to which planetary connection you are currently arriving at. As you can see, once again, we are currently arriving at Glacio, and from Glacio, we can go to Atrox, Visania, or Novus, which we are currently going to go to. We came from Calidor, which was the 4th sign there. Now we've arrived at Novus, we can go back to Calidor, where we originally came from. And now that we've arrived at Calidor, we can go back around to the loop and get to the gateway. And as we arrive here at the gateway, we can see that we have arrived just in time to see our shipment from Calidor coming in. Now to build the Interplanetary Railroad. To build a connection between planets, you'll need to find the gateway on the other planet that you want to connect to that corresponds to the gateway on Silva. You can see on Glacio that it is gateway number 3 that corresponds to gateway number 4 here on Silva. Once you've verified that you've got the correct gateway, go ahead and build a platform on top. I've chosen to use a backup file to activate the gateway as I want to keep the beacon on the gateway to help me center my tower. Once you've got your tower centered, grab your terrain tool and start building. While I time-lapse this, I'm also going to mention that I'm going to be starting an XCOM 2 Long War of the Chosen campaign here on this channel that has a lot of new, fun, and interesting changes that I doubt you've ever seen before used together like this, the way I'm doing it, if you are familiar with mod of XCOM 2. Also, while I have some extra time-lapse time here, I do want to mention that I did not make the mod that is possible to do these interplanetary rails, and I don't want to inadvertently take credit for someone else's work. I did find the mod on video from a channel called MACRONEER. If you search on YouTube ASTRONEER Interplanetary Rails or something of that like, you'll probably find MACRONEER's video. That is also where I got the mod to make this, if that is still there. Once you've built your tower all the way up to the height limit, go ahead and place rails all the way up to where they reach the height limit as well. You'll want to have this in preparation for the future step. Also, I'm going to mention that being up here is dangerous, especially if you're in survival, and I recommend bringing a chair with you. As you can see, as I try to jump past the barrier, I get stuck, and there's no possible way for me to get out unless I use this chair. So, especially if you are doing this in regular adventure/survival mode, be sure to bring a chair with you. Once you finish building your tower, you're going to need to do the exact same thing on Silva, and in fact, you don't really need to do it in a particular order. In fact, I recorded this footage of building the Glacio tower after I built the Silva tower. So yeah, no particular order needed. You can do it in either order you want. Also, pay attention to this. I have made sure that my rails are closed. That is because activating the Infinite or Interplanetary Rail mod can cause some problems. Also, be sure to make backups. You never know what could go wrong. And I'm creating a backup right here. Once you've got your backup made, all you need to do is go to a rail on either Silva or Glacio, all the way up at the top, and just pick it up and put it back down again. And you'll notice that it extends straight up, or it should be extending exactly straight up if we've done it right. I kind of play around with it here just to kind of show you. If it extends in any direction other than exactly straight up, it is pointing to somewhere that you don't want it to go. This mod just makes rails extend infinitely, which obviously can cause problems with previously built rail networks, which means making sure it extends straight up is very, very important, or it will mess up all the rail networks that you've built previously. Now that we've made our connection between Silva and Glacio, let's travel between these planets by train. So every planet has a gateway connection that corresponds to another gateway on Silva, except there is one problem: Novus. It's not on either of its gateways, and if you're observant and paying attention to the map, you'll also know that it's not on the North or South Pole either. So, how do you know where to build your tower? The answer is location finding with a beacon launch. For the sake of time, I'm going to be speeding up the clip where I build the contraption necessary to do a beacon launch from a gateway. If you'd like to see me build it in real time, go set your playback speed to 0.5, as this is on 2x speed. This is a contraption originally built by Diebeck, also someone on YouTube, so you can find the original slingshot that I use over there. This method will only provide you with an approximate location as to where you need to build your tower. There is another method that provides a much more precise location to exactly where you need to build your tower, ideally on Novus, but it's quite convoluted and time consuming, especially if you're not doing it in creative. And if you're building this whole thing in regular adventure mode, then it's probably already taken plenty of time to do this. An approximate location should be good enough. While I have extra time, I'm going to once again mention the XCOM 2 Long War the Chosen campaign I'm going to be running soon on my channel, just in case you somehow lost it or skipped it before. A bunch of whole new fun changes that will make the game very interesting. I doubt you've ever seen anything like that before. Also, in this clip, I'm doing a beacon launch on DeSolo. For an example, this is obviously something you would do on Novus, because DeSolo you already have a gateway to connect to, but DeSolo is providing a good enough example for what I have to explain. As you can see, the beacon only provides an approximate location. It is not exact, and these types of winch launchers are often unreliable, so there's really no telling how close it's going to be to the exact position that you would ideally build your tower. Also, one more thing before this video ends is on the moons, DeSolo and Novus, they do not have the same hard build cap that you need a chair for as the regular planets do, and you don't need to build your towers very high. It's unnecessary, and in fact you'll probably run into some difficulties building them super high if you go too high.